Hello, Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. We're talking July 2025. What a sky. You might have some really positive, unexpected financial good news in the month of July, as well as if you're single, some romantic life picking up, and some big changes in your work and health routines that are extremely positive. We're going to break down this month ahead in chronological order so that you can navigate the sky and be right on time to time your best life as you go through the month of July. Speaking of timing your best life, before I break this down for you and show you the chart, I would like to know you to know that although my Sky Reader, Time Your Best Life, Be Your Own Astrologer course was scheduled for July, August, it is now changed to September, October. If you want to join me on that course, I'd love to have you. My sixth time teaching it in the description box below. You can find all the details about getting on the early bird discount waitlist. It's not open for enrollment yet, and reading about the course itself. I love teaching this class. It really is so much fun. In those 6 weeks, you'll learn enough basics about astrology and your chart that you can use some ancient timing tools all by yourself, right? Let's get rolling. Now, I'm an Aries sun, so I'm invested in the story. Like, I also want this to be like a good financial bit of news, but I want to say it's an interesting sky. I'm telling this to every single sign against the backdrop, like a wash, like, watercolor wash for your painting. Against the backdrop of the sky is this little triangle between Neptune and Saturn, Pluto and Uranus. And this is going to be more intense next year, but it's like this backdrop to the entire sky that's celestially rare and unusual. And so as I show you the sky, you'll be able to see it shortly. And it kind of sets like the base note for the whole of the month. Now, I am recording this on June 17th, early access for my Patreon community. You guys will get it a few days later, maybe 5-6 days later. So I don't know about the world events. We're not doing that here. We're just talking about you and your Aries sun. That can be about your career and purpose, moon, your home life and your emotions, and Aries ascendant, anything about your life. Is going to be kind of like the character in the simulation and what happens to the character. So in the beginning of the month, on July the 1st, we are going chronological, you'll notice a few things about the sky. Number one, the Aries sky is dealing with Saturn, Neptune, and you're really kind of coming into the story through to September 1st, where you're thinking about what you want to make real and true in your life. In other words, what visions, goals, and dreams can you have sober, realistic expectations about, and then make them happen. And this is going to be a theme that's going to last until September, and it's still going on in the backdrop of your story. It's really good for sobriety around addictions as well, doing like dry July and that kind of stuff. With this energy on the sky story as a backdrop story, Mars, the ruler of your sign, since June the 17th, is still now traveling in your sixth house. This is a house of your employees and servants, if you have them, This is a house of your own work and job and your career in terms of the daily things you do in order to create a job or the routines of your work. And finally, it's your health matters as well, and sometimes involves rental property, things to do with rental properties. For example, I'm moving into a new rental property. Mars is the lord of moving in the house of rentals. Now, one thing about this is that you're very likely to be very passionately or powerfully engaged in getting the work done during the month of July that you need to get done. Mars is here for quite a long time, and he's in his joy. So in the backdrop of July, a general vibe, started June 17th, will continue to August the 6th, is that you're working hard to get your achievements in career and money up and running. So it involves work, career, reputation, and financial gain being a priority during the month of July, and indeed all the way through until August 6th. Don't forget, Mars is the ruler of you. He's your dominant planet, and he's working hard. There's a bit of a rough patch around July the 23rd. Let me just jump ahead. When he does co-join the South Node, let me just get the exact date for us. I may not have written it down, but I probably should have. My memory says it's sometime around the 23rd of July. The 20th of July, I double checked. And that's going to be like where you want to let go, cut, end, or sever something in the habits you have, dietary habits like sobriety or no more gluten, or clean up your eating act. Or you might want to let go of some aspect of the work you do, or let go of the job entirely. Something is coming to a releasing, surrendering, cutting, closing energy at that time. And so just be aware that if you quit your job or your job quits you, or you let go of a part of your work that doesn't work for you anymore around the 20th of July, give or take a few days on either side, that's okay. That's a part of the destiny play. For me, I'll probably announce something like I'm no longer going to see clients because I'm writing a couple of books and doing YouTube videos for you guys. And that will be probably what you're seeing coming off of this Aries sun, for example. Now, one of the things about the month ahead, in the month of July, as we move into the chronological, you'll notice that Venus, the goddess of love and beauty, is moving through the sign of Taurus. And this is your money surprise. Look at that. Kaboom. She's going to hit Uranus smack dab around 29 degrees of Taurus around July 2nd, 3rd. You might feel it July 1st, 2nd, 3rd into the 4th, and you might go, OMG, I am so darn lucky. Mercury is in the house of winning money, gambling, speculation, gaming. He's going to be there for a long time. We'll get to that shortly. And you might just hit some kind of financial windfall, jackpot, or positive development. I don't know. It could be a small, sweet financial surprise. Like, I don't know. It's like a tiny little check in the mail, or it could be very big. It's always hard to tell, but Venus is in dignity, hitting Uranus pretty close to that well star algol. And with Mercury in the fifth house, the suggestion could be an activation of some kind of good fortune financially, maybe by a feeling as if you've won some money, or it feels like a win. But either which way, it feels like a financial good strike of good fortune here in the first 4 days of July. Now, Venus is in this part of the sky and has been in this part of your sky since June the 6th in her dignity. So I hope some of you use that opportunity, June the 6th to July 4th, to enjoy your pleasures of food and wine and good stuff like that, but find your balance, and also to engage in solid gains financially with a kind of calm and steadfast manner. That's normally what she does there. And buy the things you need, especially with Jupiter in the 4th, the luxury items or the things you want and need for your home. Like, I'm moving, so I just bought a new sofa and a new chair and a new desk kind of thing. So that was a story June the 6th through to July the 3rd, 4th, and then she moves on into Gemini. We're going to bring that up in chronological order the best I can. I'm trying to juggle two stories at once, planetary changes and your chronological sky. Now, on July the 6th, 7th, around that time, we're noticing that Venus is going to shift into the next sign. So let's make her do that together so we can watch it. Watch Venus cutting into the 3rd house. And this is for the astrologically interested. You guys have asked me to show you the sky. If you're not into that, I'm sorry, but most of my followers are learning astrology. Venus is now here on July the 5th in the sign of Gemini. And as she enters the sign of Gemini, she begins to hook up with both Pluto and Saturn and Neptune. And what you're seeing here is a miniature grand trine, which is extremely fortunate. It brings luck, grace, goodness, gentle opportunities, and magnificent good, vibes to your life. What could it be about when Venus is in this condition? And you're going to be feeling it most strongly like the 5th, 6th, 7th into the 8th of July. Well, first of all, she's talking to Saturn, who's giving you that edge of realism and sober-mindedness and practicality and discipline in your life for whatever you wish to apply it towards. Mars suggests also getting on an exercise routine this month. But Venus is saying, well, I'm in the house of the following things. Writing. Do a writing. Don't get down. Do your writing. This is a great time to start on a good note, a writing project, and you might be very successful. A teaching learning project as well. Again, keynote. It gives you a good auspicious beginning for these writing, teaching, learning endeavors. I'd say June the 5th through to all the way to the 8th of the month, auspicious starting energy. When she's here as well, there could be an opportunity for short distance travel. And if you do, it might be connected to a wealthy or powerful friend, colleague, some Plutonian person in your life. Venus in a trine to Pluto, and this is lovely energy, is about wealth and power and the power of love and the power of wealth. I mean, it's a bit of a blessed wealth yoga. And don't forget, I think you could be coming into that money luck in the first part of July, like the 1st to the 4th. And now we have this luscious vibe of some kind of prosperity. If you make a living, social media, online, teaching, learning, writing, those are Venus in the 3rd house blessings, especially in Gemini. And Mercury says, yes, in the entrepreneurial 5th house. Pluto says wealth from the great gains of your career. So these are very auspicious energies around increasing your wealth in the work you do in this world. Let me know how that goes, or perhaps connected to allies and benefactors who have great wealth. And finally, pennies from heaven or windfalls, because that's where Pluto is sitting. Oh, Venus would say some of these pennies from heaven and windfalls may involve the local environment in which you live, the local casino, the local lottery, or just some kind of local prosperity. But don't discount online endeavors bringing prosperity as well during this time. So this is a good positive story for everyone, but you get this money part of it going here. When we move to July the 10th, we'll see a full moon in Capricorn in your 10th house of career. Now, that is a capitalization on what started 6 months earlier when you planted a new seed in the 10th house for new beginnings and fresh directions. Career and reputation, social standing, and visible actions are now fulfilled here, and they're coming to like a ripening harvest time. So you may also look at it as an edge towards completing something in your career that you're no longer interested in. And with Mars trining that full moon, again, what part of your work are you ready to let go of in order to create more fruitfulness or flowering or abundance of apples on the apple tree of your purpose and career stories? It certainly is also auspicious for fulfillment of something to do with, like, I've always wanted to work in that job or that career path or get that hiring thing going. I like that for you just with Mars in your 6th house. You may have to let go of one path, one career, one thing behind you to move fully fulfillment into the next. Of course, if you go back 6 months to the new moon, it's going to put you back in December and what new beginnings and seeds were being planted in your career at that time. Now, if we look at July the 11th, we'll notice that Saturn and Pluto are in a beautiful connection to each other. Now, these are outer planet or more slow moving planets. And so sometimes this is very soft and subtle. It's moving generationals, it's moving the masses, so to speak. But you have Saturn engaged with your sun in Aries, your moon in Aries, or your rising sign. So it's more intimate to you. And Saturn is flowing beautifully in a wonderful way to Pluto. What kind of realistic goals and dreams and practical, enduring visions can come to fruition in your life around July the 11th, connected to the 11th house, which is your long range goals and dreams. If you had a fairy godmother, father, or a genie in a bottle, what would you wish for? Saturn says, let's make it concrete, real. Pluto says, transformative and powerful. Something like that could occur. Or you could hook up with some character of power and wealth that supports you to actualize some goals, visions, and dreams in your life that without that person's assistance wouldn't be possible. This could even come from a friend, a benefactor, an ally, or an elder sibling, one above you. On July the 21st, we'll notice that Venus is squaring Mars, and this is important because you're a Mars-ruled beast. Venus will move into the sign of Gemini. Let's watch her go. And she's in Gemini now. And on July the 11th, no, on July the 21st, boy, we jumped ahead there, didn't we? On July the 21st, there's not a lot going on besides that backdrop. On July the 21st, Mars, South Node, remember I warned you about that, and we lost your sign. Let's get you back. That's just because we can't progress the chart with it, the horizon line changes. You'll notice here, let's just say March 21st, 2021, March, my God, July 2021, Mars will come into contact with the South Node of releasing and letting go, and will square Venus in the 3rd house. This is a story that may have you release a work endeavor that has the following key words: teaching, traveling, writing, marketing, selling, and communicating. Let go, release, and surrender. That full moon that had happened already on July 11th indicates there's going to be a fulfillment or a completion even of one area of career and work stories that are no longer needed. If you're retired, you might let go of something you've been visibly doing in the world, and you no longer will be visibly seen doing that. And there's a shift because Venus is going to try to help you change it. So you could change your work environment because you're going to change your home. You're going to move Mars square Venus to a new neighborhood or location, or you have to travel to some new place for work. There could be also a breakup, so to speak, with somebody you're dating at a long distance way. You know, you have to travel to see them and you've been dating and it's no longer going to work. Or you could have a kind of a fracture in a relationship with a sibling, particularly one younger than you. Or you may be breaking away from your neighborhood and your neighbors because something is up and you're going to change your neighborhood. You're going to move. You're going to see the plans in place. But it may be connected to destined and fated events connected to livelihood and work. All said and done, a Mars Venus square is about what must be coming through your desire through endings. So you might desire a new beginning in writing, communicating, marketing, selling, websites, local neighborhoods, travel, love, but you must end something as well. You must sever something, especially with Mars South Node there. When we move into the time frame, and when I say July 21st, it's going to run from July 21st to the 24th. So during that window of time, maybe even feeling it as early as the 19th, you're going to go 19th to the 24th. This Mars square is in action. Okay. On July the 22nd, in particular, the sun in Cancer will sextile Uranus. Now, the sun here, Uranus. Wait, the sun moving in. Where am I getting this one from? Let's just move the chart to July 22nd. Obviously, you can tell I started with you guys, right? Because I'm like, what? What's that sun doing? The sun in Leo on July 23rd. Oh, I see what I'm doing. Move it back. What's a semi-sextile? Oh, it's such a short little window of time. So let me get us back here. I need to do it right. I have no idea what that's supposed to be about. Well, okay, so sorry, Aries, you're always the first to go. And I'm like, nah, that's not going to happen. Now, Uranus has moved here on July the 7th into the sign of, go back to the sign of Gemini. That's a whole video. I already had one out with Adam Ellenbus. I'm not going to cover it now, but you got electrical shock currents in, change of neighborhood, neighbors, writing, communicating, marketing, selling. Okay, we got that down, but that's a backdrop story. Sorry about that. Now, let's go back into the story of what the sun is doing that sun is trining Saturn, Neptune. That's what I was looking for. Okay. So as the sun begins to shift out of here, watch what happens. This is the story I've been looking for. I've been hunting that story. And we need to get back to you. Sorry about that. This is going to continually plague me. We'll see that the sun enters 0 degrees of Leo on July the 22nd and will sextile Uranus and will trine Saturn. Now, what I want you to notice is there's a mini triangle. This is a good triangle. It's positive. Hopefully, it's good for wars in the world. Who knows? But in your life, some positive mini grand trine is forming. It connects to romantic love, entrepreneurial endeavors, matters connected to your travel, your marketing, selling, and writing. And Mercury here supports something positive happening as well with the sun, new ideas, new creative projects, new communications endeavors. You could get some romance out of this because you're traveling, and it could be very beautiful romance, lots of fiery communication in a positive way that you feel good about it. And you might even think to yourself, this could be stable. This could last because Saturn likes stability, but you might be surprised. It comes out of left field. You could bump into a new romantic partner as well in the grocery store, in the coffee shop. It can come out of the blue. It can come through travel, but it can come in the local environment. Our eyes met across the crowded supermarket for produce section. And next thing we know, we are fluttering with love. So new love in random ways. I'm traveling, I'm in my local neighborhood, I'm doing my thing, and bam, shock and awe, surprise, love is blossoming for single Aries. Okay. If you have a creative project, if you're a writer, you're going to have breakthroughs. If you're a communicator, online social media beast, you're going to have breakthroughs. This is lovely energy for all of that as well. You'll feel it kind of like July the 22nd through to about the 26th. So look forward to those vibes. You'll notice that also the sun is opposite Pluto. Now that's a tension aspect, and it's not so bad because we have a wedge to Saturn and Neptune. So it's kind of like, look for some kind of blowout as well. Connected to friends with benefits, social groups of belonging. You might be really wanting to focus the light in your creativity, your art, your entrepreneurial success stories, your romantic love stories, and you might be blowing off some friends and dismissing them. And they may say, like, you said you were going to come to this weekend camping trip. You go, no, I'm working all weekend. I'm writing my book, whatever. It passes quickly because the sun is fast moving, but there could be some colliding of agendas with power struggles over other people's demands on you and your impulse to go into the romantic or the creative energies of your being. On the 24th of July at 2 degrees of Leo, we will end up with a lunation. It is a new beginning and a new moon. Let's move us into that moon and let's see if we can capture it on the chart. And I felt the weather girl, guys. Trust me that it will be happening, not on July, on July the 24th, 23rd, 24th, but 24th is what I've got. On July the 24th, a new moon is occurring in Leo. It's going to actually be exact at 2 degrees of Leo. So obviously, if you are sun, moon, rising is in Aries, and then it's at 0 to 6 degrees of Aries, then you're really going to feel this energy profoundly, but all Aries feel it, and it's so positive. New beginnings and fresh starts in love, romance, entrepreneurial and creative endeavors, also new beginnings regarding your children. Also with Mercury there, announcements or news could come that one of your children is fertile, especially with Jupiter, like someone's pregnant with Jupiter in the 4th house. He's more children in the home. So there's that good news vibe here. Oh my God, my son or my daughter's pregnant. I would be happy to hear either of them, even though my daughter's quite young. Babies are lovely. So another thing about this is that if you're doing anything with Venus in the 3rd house, creating, writing, communicating, selling, marketing, then there's good news around those projects as well. Some excitement, some positive developments, fresh starts off the new moon of July 24th. Now, a new moon will show you its sort of credentials and what it's really about over the course of 2 to 3 weeks afterward. It's not all about the day of the dark moon, and then it will fulfill itself slowly over time, reaching a pinnacle over the 6 months that follow. So don't look to the day of the moon to be the story. It's much more broader and longer than that. All right. I love that you can make your dreams real in love, romance, in things to do with creativity, writing, marketing, selling, and communicating. That's the story I got in that part of the sky for you. Now, with this energy of Mercury in Leo, and he will be retrograding here because Mercury, believe it or not, enters Leo on enters Leo on June the 26th. So the month starts with him there, leaves on September 2nd due to retrogradation, bringing us back to kind of a 2017-18 timeframe when he was doing these longer retrogrades in Leo. And he is going to be hitting the sun in a retrograde cazimi, which is very powerful, much more powerful than the superior conjunction. So it's kind of like Ksenia Moore would call it a true cazimi. And I would agree, I think, with her. And it's at exactly 9 degrees, okay? I won't be able to line it up perfectly here, but it will happen at exactly 9 degrees and 00 minutes. And I had a dream about the number 9 last night on July the 31st. So with this merger of Mercury in the sun, use this time to initiate an artistic, entrepreneurial, or creative project or an endeavor connected romantic love, like go on that first date or put yourself out on, the dating apps or, that kind of thing, because it bakes in this auspicious new beginning. Now, Mercury can be the agent, or the broker. And so if you want to, pitch a product to an agent or find an agent for a creative project you created, this is also a good day to send the email, good day to make that communication happen. And then also notice that there's kind of a broad sextile from Uranus, which means you're surprised. You get some positive, surprising news to do with travel, writing, communicating, learning, and teaching opportunities that are glowing you up and may not be expected. And it's really lovely to see this on July the 31st. What I also like about this is the energy of Saturn, because Saturn and Neptune in your sign is flowing as well to this story. So you're really getting a lot of love and a lot of luck and a lot of grace out of this energy. It is so good for you. Venus, of course, will be sliding out of the sign of Gemini at the very end of the month on July 31st, which it will spend a whole 3 weeks in the bottom of your chart, allowing you to beautify your home, have love in the home, have friends in the home, have pleasure in the home. That will be a big August story for you, and I will get that story to you in next month's video. I hope you enjoyed our ride through the month and that it serves you and that you've learned something today about how you can time your best life in the month of July. And if you're new here, don't forget to like and subscribe. I would appreciate that. And also, I forgot to mention my All Signs bundle is for sale, half price. We have 6 months left in the year still. Why don't you grab it? It is only 30. How much am I selling it for now? Half price, $33. And my individual signs are only $22. And of course, the price will drop again in like September, but we still have July and August. You might want to use that content to navigate the chronological time ahead. And it also includes a PDF guidebook written by me for your sign, for the overview of the year. And so I know, not AI, I wrote that. And every sign's got a different write-up. So if you want that content, it's available to buy at half price. It's in the description box below. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks, fellow Aries. Enjoy the ride. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I hope to see you on my channel for all of my regular content.